Okay, good morning. How are you guys? I want to hear from you in the chat. I'm already getting warm. Thank you. I want to just say that the new moon that we all collectively went through, of course, the astrology hits our charts all very differently. If you guys can't hear me good, let me know, because I've got a new camera set up and I haven't changed the audio yet. So if you have trouble hearing me, let me know. Because I want to move my computer closer if I need to. But of course, the astrology hits our different, aspects of our chart individually, but collectively, we also went through the experience together. And we had so many planets in Aries. I think it was like 7 or 8. And basically, it feels to me like there's this equal parts energy asking us to sort of step into this place of like renewal and rest, but also simultaneously of like there's this huge floodgate of like abundance and energy. And for me, I really don't ever feel the need to like rest. Like I may be tired because I'm a mom to 3 and I'm breastfeeding and I'm trying to like manage a household and work a farm and like juggle 1,000 things, and like I know what that sort of tired feels like. But this has felt like a different tired where it's like, no, you need to like lay down and like rest, like let your spirit rest. And I told some of you know that my uncle passed away, which was like a very like karmic point for my relationships and my family, and probably have like, for all of us, this new moon that we just went through is a reset button for the next 7 years. Okay, and basically what's been going on the last 2 days is sort of like a snapshot of the next 6 months, basically. So whenever I grieve, I get like physically tired. Like after my mom died, all I wanted to do was sleep. So, on some level, I'm recognizing that it's personal to me, that there's probably some like grief in there. But aside from that, collectively, I just feel that this is really a time to like be renewing ourselves. So whatever that means for you, that balance, but like really honoring, I feel like a lot of times, because we all have so much going on, depending on where you are on that spectrum, some people actually, it's inverted and it's actually hard to get like find the motivation to do something, to like get out of bed or get off the couch or like do whatever. So it can be that inverted experience of like productivity. And so regardless, if you're feeling that call and like in your spirit to like chill a little bit, then like please really honor that. And we're also simultaneously in this window where there's a lot of energy and money and abundance in different ways coming in. But you guys tell me what's going on. I want to hear from you in the chat if that sounds kind of right on for you guys or not. So basically, I would say it's not a time to be like starting something brand new. Like there may have been waves of ideas and like projects that you have had previous to the past 2 days that we want to keep like working on. But really this is a time to like dig in to what you've already got going on and really like set like firm foundations or projects that you may have like put in motion or had the ideas for. Of course, you can start whatever you want, whenever you want, and if this doesn't resonate, like, leave it. But a lot of you are already, like, very deep and seasoned practitioners, so my invitation to you is that if you don't already have a daily Gyan Chakra Kriya practice, to be in it. And if you're new to Kundalini Yoga, you can message me and I'll give you a Kriya that's accessible and easy, but like addiction meditation or just even cat-cow or Like Sat Kriya is a really amazing one that's perfect for beginning for 3 minutes. But basically just really working all 10 bodies right now, and then being flexible with how that's going to show up in your life. We're creatures of habit, so we're more likely to let our habits build us. So if you practice, in the evening, if you like start to build that space in your evening where you're practicing, the next day, let's say you've been doing it for 40 days, day 41 comes, you're more likely to sit down and do that. Versus if we only do it for 2 or 3 days, day 4 comes, we don't do it, the next day comes. Day 5 comes and goes, no practice. Day 6 comes and goes, and now the habit is, I'm not practicing. So really whatever we're starting to anchor in, and it doesn't have to just be your practice. It could be, we do this all day, right? Like brushing our teeth and showering. But because we've been brushing our teeth and showering for 30 plus years, we don't even think about it anymore. You know what I'm saying? But we're doing these micro habits all day. Coffee, immediately after I brush my teeth, the next habit that I've created in my life is coffee. But I could easily choose to do that. If I wanted to cut caffeine because that's how I wanted to interface with reality and how to interface with like my own being and my own body, okay, hot lemon water, hot tea, like whatever it is. Okay, the next day, this is how I want to interface. And so eventually the habit starts to build me, and I'm not involved with the thinking part of it anymore, if that makes sense. And so basically that's what we're doing every minute of every day. So I really want us to kind of like deepen into that right now while we're in this kind of space where everything's kind of like pliable, and we've had this great, what I'm calling the great reset moment, during this new moon, is to really kind of like be dissecting those and honoring the parts of your schedule that you're not saying yes to or you need to say yes, or the parts that are asking you to change that you're resistant to. And I just want to add this in there too. We all love Ram Dass. Most of us know Ram Dass and love Ram Dass. And he always talks about not being in a place to like let things go. And there's that like famous saying where it's like, better to be sitting at a bar talking about God than sitting in a church thinking about drinking beer. So you really, in Ram Dass is like, if you like, or his version of it is that if, you're busy sitting around doing something, thinking about drinking a beer, you might as well drink the beer because your mind's not even present with whatever else you're doing. Okay, so you can't let things go before you're ready to let go. You have to burn the karma associated with it before you can move on. You can apply that to like anything in your life. So with all that being said, you have to like take all of this and do the self-psychology of where you're at with all of it and what direction you want to head and what you're trying to get out of your life. And, you guys know that I talk about this all the time, but it's not guaranteed that we're going to have access to these teachings and the Dharma and being a yogi in the next lifetime. So we really have some tools to like work some things out and like really move some karma for ourselves and heal, our family lineages and generations. And most of you have some level of awareness that you are doing that for your family lineage. I was feeling really good about my practice and future endeavors today. I feel like giving it all up. Just feel a blockage. I have a ton of Aries in my chart, so it feels overwhelming. So, as like this is why I like love Ram Dass, is because like those are all feelings, right? And so we could call them thoughts, because before it's a feeling, it's a thought. And as the Kundalini yogic teaching is that our crown chakra is like a big satellite receiving tower, like the ones that you see, like the radio dishes, it's an antenna basically. And the frequency of this begins to download 1,000 thought forms that are just floating about. And then we can consciously choose one. And as we choose that one, we then begin to emotionally react to that thought. So the thought comes before the feeling. So like Ramdas was saying, if you can catch it before the body starts to physically react, or before the emotional cascade begins to happen, then you can let it go. Or you can choose a different thought that makes you emotionally respond differently. And so it's not to like bypass yourself, but you do have the power to not engage with something that's not empowering. And you can recognize it. And you can say, okay, I feel there's some truth there, but also it's not serving me or getting me closer to God. So I'm going to let that one go before I get wrapped up in the emotional cascade of it and like choose a different one. And so when we're using our little mantra counters, like I love Sat Nam or Wahe Guru because it's just really like easy, but you can choose any mantra you want. And you're more likely to, first of all, not have any thoughts going besides the mantra. And then second of all, you can start to catch what the thoughts are before the emotional cascade happens. And that's what, when we were doing this class on conscious projection a few weeks ago, that's the same thing. That's it. Like what thought are we choosing to play on the screen? That we're, so this feeling of wanting to give it all up, that's a choice. That's a thought you chose to keep and to claim as your own. Nothing wrong with it, but if you don't like that or it doesn't make you feel good, say, I want to keep all of it and more. So we're always like choosing this, and it's very empowering, and it's how we as women self-liberate, is becoming owners and creating ownership in the thoughts that we choose. But until there's that sort of spaciousness where we can see it happening, it feels like we don't have a choice, and it feels this is like the victimhood mentality, right? Like I'm subject to my thoughts. Like I am my thoughts. Like it's hard to find that space to say like I can choose something different. So that's why we practice, is to be able to have that sort of chi and energy to like choose whatever we want. So we're really in this malleable place in the direction that we want to take things. And the other thing that I want to invite you to think about, where you're beginning to like scan in your life these different places, is a lot of times we become so rigid in our habits and how we're interfacing with life that we don't allow for pleasure to come in ways that are really asking us to, that are actually expansive to us and give us more of what we want and regenerate our chi and also open our heart. And so we're really in this time right now where that's very available to us. Yesterday we have a new babysitter, a nanny coming, and I get really stressed out leaving Eli because he's 1, and I usually don't leave my babies before they're 2, but me and Greg like really need this time away, and I put in a lot of energy to find her, and it was very like a God thing. And so like there's no reason that I should not be in a trusting position. So I'm like working through my stress before she comes, and there's like all these things I needed to do, and the kids are like, Mom, get in the pool. And I was like, no, like I have all these things I need to do. And so that was it was like spiraling me deeper into stress. Cleaning the house and doing all those things I needed to do weren't bringing me pleasure. It wasn't lighting me up. And usually I would have just like pushed through and been like crabby the rest of the time until the nanny got there and like, been taking it out on everybody around me. But instead I was like, okay, this is not giving me energy. It's not opening my heart, and I don't feel good. And I had enough space because I'm in this listening place right now where I put on my swimsuit and got on a little inner tube and was floating around with the kids. And I think Asher told me he loved me like 7 times. And like my heart was just like flowering watching Florence, her little tiny body, like cannonball into the water with her floaties on. And it was so rejuvenating. And not only did it like restore me, I had more energy to do the things that I needed to do, and I got them done much more quickly. And not only that, I enjoyed myself, my inner being, and then I was nice to everybody else around me. So that's available each day in like, micro moments to each of us, that listening of like, okay, like there's 1,000 reasons why I was like, I don't have time to go float in the pool with my kids. Like, I have all these things I need to do. Like, logically, we say we don't have time for pleasure, or we don't have time for our practice, or we don't have time for X, and it's just not true. So that's really what I just want to invite you guys to think about, is like how chi, pleasure, and then you guys know I love sex and money. I love this topic, but they're all interwoven together. We're going to get back into sex and money here soon. And there's really no reason that we can't say yes to more pleasure, or yes to more money, or yes to more chi. It's just up to us to creatively interface with the 3D matrix to figure out how to plug it in a way that serves us and our mission, because all of us have a soul mission here that we're like executing each day, and we have to like use our self-psychology and the practice to figure out how we're going to put the puzzle pieces together to feel good along the way. And basically anytime we're not feeling good, it's because we're choosing a thought, or we can't let a thought go. Okay? And you don't have to bypass. You may truly, you have to listen. You may be truly like, sad or mad or angry or like whatever, but however long you want to choose to hold on to that is up to you. Okay? There's no right or wrong here. It's a choose your own adventure saga. So we're going to do, and this is what I want to add at the end of this Ram Dass story, where he was talking about, he was talking about how he hated everybody. If he got really honest with himself, there's all these things about all these different people that he didn't like. And all of us to some degree have that. So if you just really allow yourself to be like super negative and like go there with all of your thoughts about all the people that you're around and all the things they do that you hate and all the ways you don't like them, you would realize all of a sudden you're by yourself. And once you get that honest, you realize you don't want to be alone. And the only way you're not going to be alone is to start enjoying other people. So then you're not going to be so negative about them. You just want to love them. Because at some point you've pushed everybody away. Everything's wrong with everybody else except for you. So if you just let yourself be super honest, then all that you can work that out really quickly. If that's you, by just saying, okay, I don't like any of these people, everything's wrong with these people, and you just get tired of being so negative. You get tired of like interfacing with what you don't like about people. So then you start to choose, I enjoy this person, I really like this about this person. That polarity begins to come in, and then it's much easier, and it's much more enjoyable for you to not have to like go around picking everybody apart, So that's how you kind of back into that one if you're in that place, or you feel like very judgmental about people, or you're finding it hard. And then we'll end with this, and I want to hear from you guys if anybody wants to unmute after this. But really, there are people in our life that really hurt us and that intend harm to us, and they do harm us, and it's very painful. And Ram Dass talks about putting people on the altar. He's like, oh, Krishna, oh, Buddha, oh, Jesus, oh, Maharaji, hello, Martin. Where he's like clearly not worked it. He's like, doesn't feel that way. So whoever's harmed you, whatever bad has been done, anybody that you feel super negative about and that you don't feel that, put them on your mental altar until it starts to shift. Because there's people that have intended me harm and harmed me that like they're there, and every time I feel that negative ill will towards them because they've hurt me, I just put them on my mental altar, and I don't have to force the feeling, but I just put them there next to Maharaji. I'm like, okay, because it is karma that we have to work out, and I just give it to God, whatever version of God is for you. It doesn't mean you have to change. It doesn't change how I feel. But I'm saying I don't want to feel ill will towards anyone. So I don't have to like them, but I'm at least just going to set them up here on the altar until it shifts. Yes, unconditional love, choosing the path of grace, looking for what is lovely. Yes. And so, it's like a muscle. It's hard at first. And we really get, the layers of victimhood consciousness are so deep, and like the more you do it, the more you start to peel back the layers and just see how often we choose victimhood. And you may be like, that's not me. And, I definitely thought that. I was like, when I heard, I was like getting triggered by people using this word like victimhood or victim consciousness. I was like, that's not me. And then I started like choosing my different thoughts. I'm like, whoa, like it's not those words, that it doesn't show up in the way that we think that it would, if that makes sense. And it's really just choosing to let go, and any moment being responsible for, there's this reel on Instagram that's like, my 4-year-old made me yell at them. It's like, no, they did whatever they did, and you chose to yell. Like, nobody's making you do anything. Nobody's making you feel that way. Even if they, like I said, harm you or intended harm and did harm you. Like, how we choose to respond or heal or interface is like that. That's our choice. So, does anybody want to unmute or share before we practice? I'm so glad to see you guys. But yeah, we're really in this place of women have 4 ways that they can liberate, and one of the ways is through ourselves, in which men actually, the teaching is, don't have that opportunity. So using the self-psychology, using the Dharma, we're really in a place to look at things and uncover things and self-liberate, which, is the goal. If you're a yogi, you may not know it's your goal yet. But yeah, and to just hold the feelings, hold the thoughts loosely, and hold yourself loosely, and with a lot of grace and a lot of unconditional love, and the grace that you send other people, and the compassion and all those things, as you begin to like get some space between your thoughts and your choices and what you're navigating, not to lock in so intensely on the judgment as you navigate it, which will create some more space to begin to choose what you want along the way, which is the name of the game. Okay, so, and then this is like a muscle. The more you do it, you rep 15 pounds at first, and then you bump it up to 20, and it's hard at first, but then it's easy, and then 30, 50, and you keep going. So this is the same thing with our practice and choosing our thoughts, choosing our feelings, choosing our habits, all that's the same. But this meditation is installing a gem in the mind, and so it changes the frequency of, like I said, that satellite system. It works both ways. Whatever our kind of frequency is the thoughts that we're going to attract, and becoming aware of the interlocks with yourself and others. Yeah. So we're going to put this gem in this beautiful head of yours so that we can start to attract more high quality thoughts that are going to make you feel better, which is what we all want, right? But before we do that, there's this podcast. If you message me, I'll send it to you. But these 2 guys are interviewed, and they talk about the different ways that the pineal gland secretes DMT, and it's through the endocrine system. And basically, it was really interesting to me was that it's stored in the pineal gland and then in the lungs. And so as we're dying, as we're leaving the earth, if you've ever been with a dying person or heard a dying person breathing, that breath becomes really low and deep, and it becomes less breaths per minute. And through that process, the body begins to release DMT so that it can help escort the soul out, but also, it's a whole cascade of chemicals and hormones in the endocrine system that begin to create basically all the endorphins that you need to not be in pain as you leave your body. While that's the other part of that is the part in the brain is that complete darkness stimulates the same experience. So when we sleep at night and we wake up in the middle of the night and we like look at our phone, or we turn a light on to go to the bathroom, and like all these things, it disrupts that flow, that cascade that releases DMT while we sleep, which can also help you astral travel or lucid dream. That's a whole other thing. But anyways, I just wanted to share that like when we're doing these yogic practices and we're doing this breath work, it's basically tricking the body into thinking that it's dying to release DMT. Like that's what's happening on a physiological level. And what that allows you to do is touch like God within yourself, and to have those like, we call them downloads of these like great ideas, or, those you feel really high after you do like 3 minutes of breath work or Kapalabhati or like whatever it is. And it's because the Kundalini has been stimulated, a little bit of DMT has been released, and we have all this cascade of your personal cocktail of hormones that's flowing. So basically we're stimulating the endocrine system, which the pineal gland regulates. So that's what we're up to. And basically every time you sit down to practice, you're just touching that. You're just turning it on. And basically, the more you can do that, the more you're like touching God, opening yourself up to God. So you actually do have to do the meditations. You actually do have to do the breath work. You actually do have to like do these things to get the stimulation. And as somebody who found Kundalini yoga very attractive from like a soul level, for years I just watched the meditations and I didn't actually do any of them. I just loved the frequency. I loved what my teacher was sharing. I just wanted to like sit and listen. And that's fine too, but there comes a time where you do actually have to do the practices to like have the experience within yourself of that sort of self-liberation. So if you're not having an experience of the level of self-liberation and pleasure and chi and money and relief from your own suffering, then you just need to be practicing a little bit more than you are right now, okay? There's no judgment. It's a physiological, like 1 + 1 = 2. We have to actually do the yoga. So we're going to do that now. And I just wanted to say I love you guys, and I'm glad to be on this ride with each of you. Let's tune in. We use the sound Ong, O-N-G, Namo, Gurudev, Namo. And then we use a protective mantra. And the way I was taught is that you just begin to make the sounds the best that you can until you catch on. And if that feels funny, it's okay. It doesn't have to feel good. You can just make the sound as best as you can. Inhale. For the protective mantra, exhale. Inhale. Angare name, jigangare name, sakare name, siddhi gurudeve name. Name, Sakare Name, Siddhi Gurudeve Name, Adgare Name, Jugagare Name, Sakare Name, Siddhi Gurudeve Name. Inhale. Squeeze up. And exhale. Okay, so we're going to start in cat-cow on the hands and knees. And in Kundalini Yoga, once you warm up the spine, you begin to move a little bit faster, actually, than just your typical hatha cat-cow. And you want the prana really deep. And then we're going to add in the sound sat on the inhale and nam on the exhale. And you're just mentally reciting this mantra, and this is actually considered a full and complete kriya. So if you feel like off and you just need something to just shift you in the moment, you can jump into this cat-cow and use the breath and the sat nam. Okay, you're on the clock.
Sat Narayan Vaheguru Hari Narayan Sat Nam. 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 Sat Narayan Vaheguru.
Inhale, open the throat, open the heart, bring in as much chi, pranic, electromagnetic energy into the system as you can. Exhale, round, pull the navel to the spine. Open the back of the body. Inhale to a neutral spine. Exhale, push back, sit on the heels. Forehead comes down to the earth. Palms come together for Guru Pranam. And just reminding you, I know we're so inundated with the words intent, intention, manifestation, like all these things that we can become kind of like touched out, so to speak, with the word. But right now, just for this moment, for today, in this great shift that we're in, it's very malleable, so that you can experience more joy, more pleasure, more chi. It's not to bypass suffering, it's inevitable, but to consciously choose what direction you want to take your life. For right now, find one prayer this morning, one intention for today that you'll see through, that you'll give your energy, that you'll complete. So you're building that self-trust, that self-reliability, that muscle. Project it down into the earth 9 feet below you. Let Gaia work with you. And then inhale and exhale, come up to seated. Ram Dass was talking about dropping anger and letting anger go. And I agree with that. And sometimes we're not quite ready to do that. So we have this practice to do it. And there may not be any body or anything making you angry, but sometimes just being in a human body and being on earth, we all know this teaching is that, to be on the planet is to suffer. Like that was the first noble truth that the Buddha gave. It's like there's suffering inherent to life. So you could just be angry about that, okay? That you're in a human body, so you're going to bring the thumb to the pinky mound edge and just wrap the other fingers around. And we're going to do this backward stroke over the head. You're cutting through the arc line that goes nipple to nipple and the one that goes ear to ear. And then if you're on on the first few days of your cycle or you're pregnant, you're just going to do long, deep breathing. But otherwise, we're going to do this breath of fire through the O mouth. You're just inhaling and exhaling through the O mouth. You can close the eyes down, and then I want you to consciously begin to bring up all the things that you're frustrated about, that you wish were different, that you're angry about. Someone that made you mad, something someone did, maybe you're mad at yourself. Consciously begin to get mad, please. We want to work it out here instead of letting the subconscious leak it out throughout the day. Okay? So we're going to consciously work it out here. Consciously feel our feelings. Maybe uncomfortable, just breathe with it. Inhale and interlace the fingers, flip the palms straight up towards the sky and squeeze up like you're trying to stop the flow of urine. Squeeze navel, rectum, and sex organs, pull up. Stay up as you exhale, cannon fire out. Inhale deep. Drop all of the anger and become very, very bright. 9 feet. That's taller probably than your ceilings. 9 feet in every direction, very bright. Stay up as you exhale. Inhale. Blindingly bright, platinum white steel. Project your light out in every direction, much brighter than you normally do. Expand your own aura. And then exhale, sweep the hands through. Touch the earth for just a minute. Deep breath in. Okay, good job. You can, anytime we do these meditations where you're sitting on the knees in rock pose, you can also do them from easy cross-legged seated position, or put a block underneath you to support the sits bones, or a pillow. You can always meet yourself where you're at and still get the benefit and still do them. So with that being said, if you cannot stay in rock pose any longer, you can come to easy cross-legged seated position. But otherwise, we're going to stay in rock pose. And this is called Sat Kriya. And so you're going to keep the Jupiter fingers out, which is your pointer fingers. And for women, we cross the left thumb over the right, physiologically or biologically gendered women. And then the arms are going to go on either side of the ears. And again, if you're pregnant, you can still do this kriya. Just don't pull the navel in really dramatically as you do it. But otherwise, we're going to dramatically pull the navel in and chant Sat, and then Nam as you release it. Sat, Nam, 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 Sut, 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 Nam. Inhale. Squeeze up, stretch the arms up, very up, stretch the spine, stretch the shoulder blades, squeeze up. Stay up as you exhale. Even in this exhale, stretch up and hold the breath out, pull the navel. Inhale. Exhale, stay up. As you exhale, pull the navel and stretch up. Hold the breath in or out, as it were. Last time, inhale. Exhale. At the bottom of the breath, hold the breath out, pull the navel while stretching the spine. Look up out of the crown of the head. And exhale. Part of this kriya after you practice is to come on the back and lay down and let all of the energy integrate and listen to a gong. So I'll play the gong for you, but I just wanted to speak to what someone said about kind of wanting to slip away and run away after feeling energized and like ready to go and like off to the races. And those sort of polarities come and you just hold it all loosely. You don't have to cling on to either tightly. You can hold both of them in your experience very loosely, as if they were, as these thoughts and feelings are like clouds passing through a blue sky, okay? Both feelings and thoughts are just clouds passing through your blue sky mind, okay? You don't have to hold on tightly to either one of them and just keep doing. Your soul knows what its mission is. You just keep going and rest and honor when you feel that pullback and also do what you need to do. All right, here you go. You're on your back. I'm going to play the gong for you. that feeling of kind of pulling back or want to kind of just tuck away and run away, that's that feeling of like resting, like your spirit asking for rest that I was sharing about right now. So really honor your rest right now and know that everything has a season. Inhale and exhale, we're going to do this meditation. Come up to seated. Stay in that space that you've cultivated and just come into easy cross-legged seated. You can bring the hands into Gyan Mudra, any mudra that you want to that's calling your name. And sit up tall and close the eyes down. Breathe normally. Imagine you are on a mountain, looking down at the town or the city that you live in, that you're currently in. Up on a mountain, looking down at the city that you're currently in, or that you live in. Understand that what you're seeing is really inside of you. Imagine what size your head must be, and think of how much it can contain. Now go up in the air until you look at the entire United States. Go beyond this and see the entire earth. Understand that the entire planet is in your head. Expand and see the solar system. Then see the entire universe. Become the entire universe, but still be in the body. Feel the vast amount of energy flowing through the body. Expand the little I into the big I. Go beyond time and try to grab infinity. Just expand into the vastness of yourself. In this vastness, see the light of purity. It's a glittering, simple, soft light. Now imagine that it is this glittering, soft, beautiful, pure light is in the center of your head. Focus on it. That is where the pineal gland is located. It is a most precious gem which God has put there. See nothing but light. It is blue light. It is subtle. It is warm. It is pure. It is in your head, but it is as big as the cosmos. Focus on it and become pure light. Become and understand I am, I am. Inhale deep and hold the breath, squeeze, root lock, navel, sex organs squeeze up, look up out of the crown of the head as you hold everything in. Exhale. 2 more times, inhale deep. Hold the breath in, squeeze, navel, Mula Bandha, look up out of the 10th gate. Exhale. Last time, inhale deep. see this cosmic blue, universal, glittering light in the center of your head as you squeeze up and look up and out of it. And exhale. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for your practice this morning. Those first 3 meditations that we did, the cat-cow, fist of anger, and set kriya, we did 3 minutes of each of them, and you can choose any of them that you want to. And if you want to tune in before you practice at home, you can just do Ong Namo Gurudev Namo, Ong Namo Gurudev Namo, Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. Really quick like that. It doesn't have to be the long, drawn-out version that we do here. But yeah, that's that meditation we just did is kind of the space we want to be hanging out in right now. That sort of restful, restorative, cosmic, I am space, and not attaching too much to polarizing thoughts. Okay, that's why I wanted to take us there and really be restoring your being and renewing your being in whatever ways that you need, and really listen in a deep way about what that may mean for you. It may mean something different than you're used to. So, okay, I love you guys. We have 1 space left for the Magdalene Frequency Workshop with me and Susan next Sunday. And then we have 4 complimentary meditations throughout the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. And that's all on Naga Collective group chat and Instagram. So if you have any questions, just reach out. We use the same link for all the meditations, including this class. So, yeah. All right. Inhale. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within you. Guide your way on, guide your way on, guide your way on. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Okay, Sat Nam. I hope you guys have the best Sunday ever, best week ever, and I'll see you soon. Sat Nam.